All right, so here we are back in the science gallery, right? And science is a very interesting thing. You know, you hear about it all the time, but what does it really mean? What is science? The problem with science is it's kind of an abstract concept. It doesn't, people have a trouble relating it, what it means to their everyday life. Here's a case in point. This is the Large Hadron Collider, which, as near as I can tell from everything I've read, is a tube that wraps around the Earth about 46 times. It uses laser magnets to collide quark gluons at about 100 million times the speed of light to try and create a black hole that will kill us all, surely. But then they said, no, we're not trying to kill you all. What we're trying to do is find the God particle. And a God particle, what does a subatomic makeup of Jesus really mean to me? It doesn't mean a whole lot. And really what the problem with science is it's this, is that we leave science to the scientists. Now, I work in advertising, so I spend all my day trying to figure out how to communicate ideas, so I'm going to do science a favor tonight. I'm going to try and repackage some of their ideas in a great way, okay? So the first problem that science tries to solve that I want to talk to you about is endemic under-obesity, okay? As hard as it is to believe, there are people in this world right now whose arteries are not hardening, their hearts are not palpitating. You know, people are not as fat as they should be. But fortunately, there are scientists like the people at KFC who have just today released the Double Down Sandwich, which is a bunch of fried meat between a bunch of fried meat. Because really, why should you need 3 meals a day to reach your daily recommended allowance of calories when you can do it halfway through a single sandwich? Science. Second, chronic non-diagnosis. Why are my medicines so expensive? Well, because you research and development. We have to hire scientists to research invented diseases that you think you may have, and then develop drugs that you'll take to cure those made-up diseases. Also, those pharmaceutical companies have to pay reps to go around the world visiting doctors' offices and telling them that your clients have this disease that you never heard about in your 12 years of medical school. Here's the drug that you may want to prescribe to them. If you have any questions, we'll pay for you and your family to go to Disney World to learn more about it. Lingual dependency. You may once remember a time where you had to communicate in things like sentences and paragraphs. Well, no more. We stripped away things like grammar and spelling and context from communication, and now it's all about communicating ideas, okay? It's ideas like, how is your Cocoa Puffs at your breakfast this morning? Well, they were pretty good, thank you very much. All we do is we come up with ideas, we spew them out into the atmosphere, and we hope that somebody collects them. By the way, follow me on Twitter at InteractiveMark, please. I'm spewing ideas all the time. And just to show you I'm not totally divorced from the scientific method, I'm conducting an experiment where anytime I'm in a room with two people who are texting each other, I stab them both in the neck before either of them can text ROTFDMAO, rolling on the floor, dying, laughing. I may have screwed that up, but it's hard to text when you're getting stabbed in the neck. Fiscal anti-asymmetry. Up until recently, people were doing pretty good for themselves, and the bank said, why are we giving all our money away? So they went to their economists, and they said, why are we doing this? They said, okay, no problem, we'll invent money. And they started giving away pretend money, and then they said, well, we're missing a whole bunch of money, so then give us back all your real money. So the bank people are brilliant, and sometimes science is they cure 2 problems with 1 stone, so they also cured rampant overemployment with that whole act as well. Coming up next is lowest hanging sacrifice. People are kind of strange. You know, we like to bitch about problems, but we don't like to really do anything about them. Oh, the polar ice caps are melting because of all the cows in the world. Well, would it help if I stopped putting bacon on my cheeseburger? Well, probably not. But that's why we have science to allow us to do things like they invented the electric car. Because electric cars run on electricity and not fossil fuels, because we all know that electricity comes from a mixture of rainbows and fairy dust that's delivered to your house by unicorns, right? So, you know, marginally better fuel efficiency is a product of science. Promotional poverty. Sometimes science is internecine warfare, so some scientists are trying to figure out how do I put ads on everything, and other scientists are trying to figure out how do I stop people from seeing ads like DVRs. Well, only science could come up with this solution, where they merged McDonald's advertising and report cards, and this is real, I did not create this, and really, who else but science could figure out how to make a kid stupid and fat at the same fucking time? You know, and that's the brilliance of science. And there's another object that has been created recently, the iPad. People waited out in line for many hours to get this thing, and how excited are they going to be when they realize that they didn't buy the next generation of personal computing, but what they bought is another delivery method for advertising, to have advertisers cram ads down your throat. I think they're going to be fucking psyched, to be honest with you, but that's just my opinion. So in closing, thank you, science, for all the ways that you make my life better on a day-by-day basis and make this a better world to live in. And finally, there is a invention or a discovery from science, one of its oldest and probably most valuable ones, and that is beer. And I think that all of you should do the right thing, and you should grab one and drink it before the end of the night. You'll be glad that you did. QED.